Most people think negotiation is a skill reserved for Wall Street sharks, FBI agents, or high-stakes lawyers. But the truth is, every day you're negotiating, whether you realize it or not. You're negotiating with your boss about a raise. You're negotiating with your partner over who does the dishes. You're even negotiating with yourself every time you try to get out of bed early. The difference between those who get what they want and those who don't. It's not aggression or being a natural. It's knowing the rules of real negotiation, the kind used by people whose job depends on it. Chris Voss, a former FBI hostage negotiator, spent years sitting across from terrorists, bank robbers and kidnappers, people for whom every word was life or death. What he discovered is shocking. The best negotiators aren't the toughest. They're the best listeners. They're the most emotionally intelligent. And they're always in control, not by force, but by subtle psychological tactics that turn the conversation in their favor. Imagine you're on a call with a kidnapper who wants $1 million for a hostage. You can't just bark orders or offer a lowball deal. One wrong word and everything falls apart. But what if you could use those same tactics to get a pay raise, close a sale, or win an argument, without anyone even realizing you're negotiating? Let's walk through some of the most powerful tactics Voss used in the field. Tactics that you can use right now, whether you're facing down a terrorist or just want to pay less for your next car. The first tactic is called tactical empathy. It's not about agreeing with the other person. It's about showing them that you truly understand how they feel, so much so that they let down their guard. Voss says the single biggest mistake negotiators make is focusing on what they want, instead of how the other side feels. The goal is to make the other person say, "That's right." Once you've got them there, they feel understood, and people who feel understood are far more likely to move in your direction. For example, in a hostage negotiation, Voss would mirror the words and emotions of the kidnapper. If the kidnapper sounded angry, he'd reflect that back. "It sounds like you're angry about what happened." If the kidnapper was frustrated with the police, Voss would say, "It seems like you feel no one is really listening to you." He never argued. He never said, "You're wrong." He just labelled the emotion and let it hang in the air. And over, the tension would start to break. How do you use this at work or at home? Next time someone's upset, don't jump in with advice. Mirror what they're saying. Label their emotions. Pause and let them fill the silence. Most people are so desperate to be heard that when they finally feel listened to, they open up. Negotiation begins where understanding starts. The next tool is the power of no. We're trained to chase yes, but Voss flips this completely. He argues that no is actually the most useful word in negotiation because it gives people a sense of control. When you force someone to say yes, they feel trapped. When you let them say no, they relax, and the real conversation starts. Instead of asking, "Is now a good time to talk?" which pressures a yes, Voss would say, "Is now a bad time to talk?" People are far more comfortable saying no. Once they do, their guard drops and you can move forward. If you want to persuade your boss for a raise, don't ask, "Can I have a raise?" Instead, try, "Would it be ridiculous to discuss my compensation?" That no opens the door to negotiation in a way that yes never could. Third, Voss teaches the mirroring technique. People trust people who sound like them. It's simple. Repeat the last 1-3 words your counterpart just said in a calm tone. If your boss says, "We just don't have budget for that project right now," you reply, "Not enough budget right now." It sounds basic, but it triggers a deep psychological urge for the other person to elaborate. They explain themselves. They reveal new information. And suddenly you're in control of the conversation because you're guiding it word by word. Voss even used mirroring with kidnappers and criminals. Instead of arguing, he'd echo a phrase, and the suspect would keep talking, giving him more leverage and information every time. You can use mirroring in any conversation, negotiating a bill, talking to your kids, even calming an argument. It's subtle, disarming, and most people don't even realize you're doing it. Another tactic, the late-night FM DJ voice. Voss says the way you say things matters as much as what you say. When tensions rise, lower your voice, slow your speech, and channel a calm, soothing radio host. People naturally mirror your tone. If you're calm, they become calm. This voice helps you gain authority and keep control, even when the stakes feel high. Let's talk about calibrated questions. Instead of making demands, ask questions that force the other side to solve your problem. Instead of, "I need this by Friday," try, "How am I supposed to meet this deadline with these resources?" This isn't just polite, it makes the other side your collaborator. They start brainstorming with you rather than arguing against you. Voss calls these how and what questions. How would you like to move forward? What's the biggest challenge you see here? How can we solve this so it works for both of us? These questions shift the power dynamic. Instead of a battle, it's now a puzzle you solve together. Here's a real-life example from Voss's FBI days. When negotiating with a bank robber holding hostages, Voss didn't say, "Let them go now." He'd ask, "How am I supposed to know everyone's okay in there?" Suddenly, the robber is talking logistics, not threats. The power has shifted. Next, we have the Acaman Model, a technique Voss borrowed from international hostage negotiations. It's a disciplined way to get the best deal. Decide your target price. Start with 65% of that price as your first offer. Increase to 85%, then 95%, then finally 100%, using empathy, mirroring, and calibrated questions at each step. Throw in a non-monetary item at the end, a small concession that costs you little but makes the deal feel bigger to them. This tactic makes your counterpart feel like they're winning. You appear to be stretching, making them work for concessions. In hostage talks, this could mean extra food for the hostages. In business, it might be offering an extra service, a faster delivery, or a tiny bonus. Voss even breaks down how to bargain for a used car this way. Most sellers expect a little negotiation, but not with the precision and discipline of an FBI agent. You show you're serious. You escalate slowly, and you never get emotional. That's the secret. Negotiation is not a battle, it's a dance. Emotion is the enemy of negotiation. Voss learned this the hard way, sitting for hours in tense standoffs. The other side will use every trick, anger, guilt, threats, to get you emotional. Don't take the bait. Stay calm, stay curious. If you feel yourself getting heated, slow down. Use the FM DJ voice. Mirror, label, and ask another how question. That pause can be your most powerful move. And remember, sometimes walking away is your best play. Voss is clear. The person who's willing to walk away holds the most power. You don't need to win every negotiation. Sometimes your strength is in your willingness to say, "No deal," and mean it. Negotiation is everywhere. Job interviews, salary talks, buying a car, resolving conflicts with your partner, even convincing your kids to eat their vegetables. The people who win aren't the most aggressive. They're the most emotionally intelligent. They know how to listen, when to be silent, and how to ask the right question at the right time. If you remember anything from Chris Voss and never split the difference, let it be this. Use tactical empathy. Embrace no, it's the start, not the end. Mirror and label emotions. Ask calibrated questions. Stay cool, stay curious, and always be willing to walk away. You don't have to be an FBI agent to use these tactics. But if you do, you might be surprised how often you get what you want. Not by overpowering the other side, but by understanding them so well. They want to work with you. If this opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe for more sharp summaries, and comment below with the next book you want to see. Let's grow smarter together. In a world full of noise, one moment can change everything. Imagine you're scrolling through your feed and suddenly you pause. That's the power of the right message at the right time. We often overlook how essential effective communication is. Words shape our thoughts, emotions, and actions. The way we convey or interpret a message can transform a fleeting moment into a powerful experience. Let's delve into how crafting our messages intentionally can have profound impacts. First, understand your audience. Know their interests and what resonates with them. This knowledge is key in framing your narrative. Next, concentrate on clarity. Your message should be simple and straightforward. Avoid jargon and make every word count. Think of a story. Each part needs to connect for the plot to unfold seamlessly. Now consider adding emotion. When we infuse stories with relatable feelings, we create a bond. Think of a time when a story moved you. What did you feel? That emotional connection is vital. Finally, include a call to action. Encourage your audience to engage further. Whether it's liking, sharing, or exploring more, make your message actionable. Imagine your words lighting a spark in someone's mind. That's the goal. Create messages that resonate and inspire. To recap, know your audience, keep it clear, evoke emotion, and always encourage action. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more storytelling tips. Let's start crafting messages that matter together.